Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome everybody to the October 27th City Council meeting. First thing we'll do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Christy, can we have a roll call, please?
Bierstead.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Gagne.
Here.
Morissette.
Here.
Odine.
Here.
Plunkett.
Here.
Watson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have approval of minutes from the October 13th meeting.
I move approval. Second.
All in favor? Christy? Well, I'm sorry. Christy, we have first and second on the meeting minutes from October 13th.
Start the vote with Mr. Plunkett. Odine.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Gagne.
Aye.
Morissette.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Bierstead.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Okay, next we have approval of the bills with Mr. Bierstead. Sorry about that. Approval of the beer.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor and Council, I move for approval of payment of the bills in the amount of $905,360.39, subject to the Comptroller's review.
Second.
Any questions or comments on the bills? Okay, Christy, we have first and a second on the bills.
Start the vote with Ms. Odine.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Morissette.
Aye.
Gagne.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Bierstead.
Aye.
Plunkett. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Christy. Okay, next move on to public comments. John, you said there was somebody in the council chambers?
Let me look. No, I don't think we have a public person to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and there's nobody online or anything?
No one contacted us to ask to speak, so that's correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
sir.
Well, I see a gentleman, I believe it's a gentleman sitting there, and I thought he raised his hand.
That's the Venerable Tony Steiner. Let me unmute the microphone here. Oh, if I can find out where it is. There you are. All right, Tony, they can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Say hello.
Hello.
That's all.
I think you can move on, Mayor.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. First thing is acknowledging of the following minutes. We have the West Central Wisconsin Biosolids Facility Commission from 8:20. We have the Powerful Choices Committee meeting from 3:12. We have the UAB minutes from 9:21. We have the Plan Commission from 9:1. We have the Board of Appeals from 1:22. We have the River Falls Housing Authority from 8:12 and 9:23. And we have the Park and Rec Advisory Board from 9:16. And then number A is a resolution accepting the public improvements for the depot and city stations developments. And the next one is a resolution authorizing application for a river planning grant to Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. And that'll be through this would authorize the Kinney Corridor Collaborative to apply for a river planning grant to Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Does anybody want to poll anything? Okay, I will take a motion on the consent agenda then.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Any questions or comments on anything?
No.
Okay, Christy, we have first and a second on the consent agenda.
First by Mr. Morissette with a second by Mr. Watson. We'll start the voting with Mr. Gagne.
Aye.
Plunkett. Bierstead.
Aye.
Morset.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Watson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Christie. Okay, next go on to ordinance and resolutions. First one is ordinance 2020-10, repealing and replacing chapter 17.120 of the floodplain protection regulations of the municipal code. And this is the first reading. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, the next reading will be November 10th, and then we'll go to the council. Does anybody have any questions on this one? Okay. Next one is ordinance 2020-11. This is an ordinance reading, repealing chapter 2.20 of the Emergency Medical Services Department and chapter 2.52 Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board. And this is the first reading. And this would affect these two chapters, and that would take effect January 1st. And the second reading will be on November 10th. Are there any questions from the council on this one?
No.
Okay. Last one is ordinance 2020-112. This is an ordinance appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of the government and administration of the city of River Falls, Wisconsin for the year 2021. And this is the first reading. And this will be, this would appropriate the necessary funds for the operation of the government and administration of the city of River Falls for 2021. The total of all funds budgeted is $40,648,506, of which 17% is funded by general property taxes. The proposed tax levy, I'm sorry, too much talking and reading. The proposed total levy for 2021 is $6,996,000. The second reading will be November 10th. Does the council have any questions on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Just a point of information for the public that there was, the video is available on the website of the two workshops the council had. So if public is looking for more detail, they can find that in addition to the packet information that's included tonight and a full link to the budget book on the city's website if they're looking for more detail.
Okay.
The City Finance Director, Sarah Carlson, or myself, City Administrator Scott Simpson, are happy to take inquiries from the public between now and the second reading.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Yep, Mr. Gagne.
And Scott, for that second reading, will there be a presentation, it looks like, as far as the budget? Or will it just be going to us for approval?
It's typically up to the preference of the mayor and the council. I think we will be prepared to do a short presentation, which can be expanded, but we'll cover essentially the items that are in the cover memo. The transmittal letter will be the primary focus of our presentation, and it will be a bit of a repeat of the last workshop. There was no material changes that I'm aware of from the second workshop to the presented budget.
Thanks.
Okay. Next, we'll go on to reports. First, we'll do the review of resolution number 6501. This is a resolution relating to the COVID-19 public health emergency, recommending the use of face coverings in public in the city of River Falls. So, Jason, did you have anything to say about this or to bring us up to date with?
I had nothing planned.
Okay.
We include copies of the reports and certainly able to take any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions from the council on this?
Basically, nothing is changing as of right now.
I think in terms of our actions as a city, no, nothing.
Okay, next thing on the... go ahead. Who was it?
Plunkett.
Mr. Plunkett.
Yep. What are we hearing from Pierce and St. Croix County on communicable disease ordinances? I know that they have potentially some stuff happening, and I'm not up to date with where they are in the process.
So as far as I know, Pierce County did pass theirs some couple weeks ago that gives the health officer some codified authority, if you will. And as far as St. Croix County, I have not been given any up-to-date information, and I guess I would look to Scott to see if he may have any. I think general hearsay. I believe I heard that they went to forward something and it got bumped back down to committee, but I haven't got formally notified of anything.
Yep, I was told the same thing last night by one of the St. Croix County board members, that it got brought up to the board and they bumped it back to the subcommittee to work on it.
Yeah, and I should be more precise, but I believe that was a subcommittee of the health committee, not the full board,
No,
not the
I'm
full
sorry,
St. Croix
yes.
County board.
Yes,
So
yes.
just so people are,
Yep.
at least that was my understanding from the last communication we got, was that it was at a subcommittee of the health board, then went back to the health board, then now back to a subcommittee of the health board. I don't believe it's been at the full county board yet in St. Croix County.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, move on to the, on the agenda, there is a plan commission report. Everybody had seen it in their agenda packet. Was there any questions on that from anybody? Otherwise, we'll move on to the, oh, yep, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody say something. Okay, we'll move on to the the administrator's report. Does anybody have anything for Scott they'd want to ask?
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Gagne.
can we just get an update on polling locations and what voting in person will look like for folks?
Yep. Scott, you want to take that one?
Sure.
Unless Amy-
Mayor and council, yeah, the in-person absentee is ongoing. Had an opportunity to very briefly see city clerk today, as she was serving the public with other staff. We did surpass 4,000 absentee ballots in total that have been received, nearly 1,000 in person, about 3,000 mail in, about 600, about approximately 600 mail-in ballots still outstanding. And your question was related to in-person. In-person, we're staffed and ready to go. Polling locations by districts will be similar to what people have seen at the last election. Lower library, lower level, UWRF Falcon Center for District 2. Library lower level is District 1. District 3 is City Hall. And District 4 is River Falls High School. We've coordinated specifically with the UWRF Falcon Center staff and the River Falls High School staff on this election related to COVID precautions and operations. As you know, the Falcon Center, or as most of you know, maybe some of you don't, the Falcon Center has been restricted to off-campus activities. Off-campus activities have been restricted. This is an exception to that policy, and so that we're quite confident they're ready. With the added benefit of parking should be a little bit easier than normal at that location. River Falls School District is obliged to our request to expand, kind of spread out the polling location a little bit at the high school, and so we'll be using the commons area. The high school determined that they could do an online or virtual day on election day. So there again, that'll minimize conflicts with other users in the building, essentially providing some exclusive use for voting at the high school. So again, parking, access in and out, and voter safety will be enhanced based on our ability to kind of spread the polling locations out a bit. So we expect very strong turnout. We're prepared for that. We expect, even with the push, that there will be still strong same-day registration as there often is in presidential years. So that's the city administrator's 10,000 square foot or 10,000 square foot, 10,000 foot view. We certainly can provide additional information if you have other questions. I might even be able to ask a few more detailed questions than that. Is there anything else?
Follow up to that, if I may. Has the university designated that lower level where we typically would vote versus going up to the third floor through the stairways and elevators? Do you know the specific location?
Yeah, this is going to be at the Falcon Center, not the University Center.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So it'll be, I believe it's in that mezzanine area.
Yeah, you're right.
As you come in the main lobby.
My mistake. Thank you.
Scott, do we have, I should have asked you this before the meeting, but do we have any numbers about the turnout in 2016 and how we're doing compared to that?
I'm sure we do. I don't have them at my fingertips. The 4,000 voters represents 33-ish or maybe 30. I better be rough for numbers, 30 to 40% of the registered voters. So I believe we're in the neighborhood of 9,000 registered voters. And so I would guess we'll surpass the presidential in 2016, but it's hard to tell. The student numbers may impact that. I'm not sure that there's a lot of evidence yet that that's the case, but there are less on-campus residents right now than there typically is. I would imagine, although I didn't verify that, Mr. Morissette, but I believe they have less people living in the residence halls. I know they have less people living in the residence halls today than they did last year. I believe that is also the same case for 2016, that there was more residents living on campus in 2016 November than there are today. So that might impact the voting slightly. But it also may reduce our same day voter registration numbers too, because conceivably freshmen or sophomores that are voting in their first presidential election there may not be as many of those here that are registering same day. They may be registering at their parents' home. So I can get you that number, but I don't have it.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just curious.
Just for comparative purposes, in the 2016 presidential election, we had 7,463 total votes cast between the two counties.
Thank you.
You have anything else for us?
No,
Okay.
I think we've covered most of those items, understanding that one of the highlights of the week this week is that the holiday lights are in fact going up in downtown. So some grasp of normal there for us. So we appreciate the crews Save a Tree getting those going, and we'll get some lights up downtown.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the Comptroller's report with Ms. O'Dean.
Okay, one moment. The Comptroller's report for September 2020. General fund revenues through the end of September were $8,576,068, or 78% of budgeted revenues. Revenues in September included $57,452 in building permits and $33,691 in state disaster aid related to the emergency repairs of the Powell Avenue Bridge. Expenditures for the same period were $7,120,291, or 65% of budgeted expenses. Expenses for September included $157,339 for the 2020 street microsurfacing program. Net revenues over expenditures as of September 30th, 2020 were $1,455,777.
Thanks, Diane. Okay. Next thing is I have one appointment I'd like to make. I'd like to reappoint Gary Horvath through October of 2023 to the Board of Appeals.
Mr. Mayor, I move for your appointment.
Second.
Chris, do you have first and second on my appointment?
First by Mr. Gagne, second by Mr. Morissette. Start the voting with Mr. Watson.
Aye.
Plunkett,
Aye.
Bierstead,
Aye.
Morissette,
Aye.
Gagne,
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Okay, next we're moving to closed session per Wisconsin State Statute for the following purposes. 19.85 1E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons could require a closed session. To wit, consider purchase of property on 2nd Street.
Mr. Mayor, I move we recess into closed session.
Second.
Chris, do you have a first and second for closed session?
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Just for the public's notice, we don't expect to come back into open session and vote. There will be no action expected to be taken out of closed session this evening.
We'll just come out and adjourn.
Yes.
Okay.
So the video will stop when you adjourn or when you go into closed session.
Okay.
But obviously we'll continue to take minutes and the attorney and myself are still present.
Okay. Go ahead, Christy.
A motion by Watson, second by Gagne to start the voting with Mr. Morissette.
Aye.
Watson,
Aye.
Plunkett.
Aye.
Gagne,
Aye.
Odine,
Aye.
Bierstead, Downing.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Okay, we will move into closed session then.
Right, give me a minute, please.
Yep. Take your time, John.
Yep.